Hey yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome in to the show here. Special edition version of this show where I'm putting my two shows together, man. I do movie reviews and also do Halloween Horror Nights Talk, and we're gonna do both of those on this here episode, man. First, we're gonna talk about Evil Dead Burn, film released last week as the recording of this episode, and we're gonna talk about that. Spoiler free, of course. Maybe has some Halloween Horror Nights ties ins there. And then we're gonna talk about some announcements and stuff going on with Halloween Horror Nights. I felt why not? Let's have a good time and just throw the two things together, man. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this for you YouTube viewers. There is the poster for Evil Dead Burn. Well, I'll give you some details on the movie here. The movie is rated R for strong, bloody horror violence, language, and gore. Sounds like an Evil Dead movie. Film is classified as a horror mystery thriller movie and runs in at 1 hour and 50 minutes. All right, and as we had the poster up there, you can see the tagline there. Every family has its demons, right? Playing, of course, pun on the Evil Dead franchise, and what we're gonna deal with in this movie, which is a lot like the last movie, Evil Dead Rise, that had some family dynamics going on that led into, a lot of the story that was going on in the last film. And in this movie, we're getting that as well, but a different version, right? So this movie is dealing with, and real quick, going back, just warning for people out there. There is some animal cruelty in this movie, Evil Dead Burn, as well. So just throwing that warning out for you. I know I've seen some talk online about that and people wondering about it and hearing about it and being worried about seeing the movie, wanting to know if it's in there or not. It is. Just throw that out for you. I saw that scene coming and I was not happy about it myself, but I was already in the theater. That man. But it is in there. So just to give you forewarning if you're gonna go see the movie, to let you know, be prepared for something like that to happen in the film. But yes, this movie is dealing with family dynamic in the sense of relationships, right? We have a married couple who are very much spatting with each other, and leads into some more family dynamics as you learn throughout the movie and all that stuff. And basically, deals with domestic violence is what we're dealing with some of these characters in the movie and all that stuff, man. So that's the family dynamic. That's the whole tagline, to deal with every family has its demons and all that stuff. The movie feels like an Evil Dead movie, and I don't say that in a disparaging manner or as in a, oh, they're just doing the same thing again manner, because they're not. But it does have those familiar beats that you expect with an Evil Dead movie. The rushing of the camera towards things, the look, the vibe, the gore, the deadites, the scariness, the demons, all that stuff, man, that goes on in an Evil Dead movie. The blueprint of Evil Dead movie is what you're gonna hear. A blueprint so well known that a movie came out earlier this year called The Mummy, and everybody said it's just Evil Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, the familiar beats that you're gonna get with an Evil Dead movie, and yes, they're very much in this movie, but that doesn't again take away from the film itself. I think the majority of people who've seen Evil Dead movies enjoy those things, obviously, and have a good time with them. And I myself, with the without the before mentioned animal cruelty aspect, I enjoyed a lot of the stuff that was going on with the gore and the action elements of what's happening and all that stuff. You've probably seen the clips and all that, so you kind of got an idea of some of the action. It goes over the top more than that. I'm not going to, of course, again, told you I'm not going to spoil anything here for you, so I'm not going to go in full detail about the certain scenes and all that stuff, or maybe not even talk about trailer stuff or connections and all that stuff, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But if you've seen the trailer, you get the idea of what I'm talking about here. And I like the characters, in the movie for the most part. I had the performances, at least. Some of the characters in the movie obviously are not good people and everything, but I think the performances were good across the board. And while it still has all that gore that you expect with an Evil Dead movie, I just mentioned, the storyline we're going in that deals with some tough elements and everything, and gets you into emotional beats and all that stuff. It also has its humor in there as well. And there's a very funny character in this movie. There's other humor, of course. You get humor with the Deadites from, their devilish humor, if you will. And but there's also, a funny character and funny aspects that are happening in this movie and all that stuff. They got a lot of chuckles out of it from me, as well as the audience. And from what I've heard from my friends who we've all seen the movie and talked about in text form, they've enjoyed it and had good times laughing at it and all that stuff. The film has two credit scenes, one mid-credit scene, one end-credit scene. Both fit, the story of what's going on and all that stuff. No like throwaway scene or anything like that. All of them, both of them, important in their own right. Especially that last one, very important, very important. Last final scene in there, but it was enjoyable. Like I other than that one real moment, I didn't have much problem. I see a lot of people are running into they think it's too gray or something like that. I ain't running that issue, man. That just seems like something people want to complain about, which it's your own opinion. Movies are subjective, right? So your own opinion, have it out there. But I didn't bump into that, man. Like I didn't have any real issue with what the film was, grayscaled or not. Like it didn't bother me. Like it seemed to fit, honestly. Evil Dead Burn and gray, like ash look fits to me. It made sense to me what they were going with there, and kind of fits the vibe of the story that's being told and all that stuff, and the burn and all that. Like I didn't bump into it. It felt right for the movie and all that stuff. So I didn't run into that issue, but I enjoyed it, man. Like I liked it. I like what they did. I like what they put together. I don't like the animal cruelty aspect, but I did like everything else in the movie, and it works. Like it works for, again, if you're an Evil Dead fan, you're gonna enjoy the movie. Like I can't imagine you wouldn't enjoy the movie. And yeah, so there's your quick spoiler-free review of Evil Dead Burn. If you checked it out, let me know in the comments what you thought and all that stuff, man. But going from there, I mentioned it a moment ago and teased it a little bit. Halloween Horror Nights has two IPs left to announce for this year's event. The IPs, intellectual properties. They do, the five houses based on IPs. So far this year, we've got Stranger Things, Sinners, Stranger Things 5, Sinners, and Hellraiser was just recently announced as well. And the rumor is that Evil Dead Burn is one of those IPs. I don't know. I'm not in the know. I don't pay attention to speculation maps and all that stuff. I've just seen that rumor floated around and everything. And maybe it's on the speculation map. I don't know. Maybe I need to stop looking at rumors. But it is rumored that this will be there. And when I was watching the movie, I was like picking up on some things, like if it was in case, going to be part of Halloween Horror Nights, I could see the elements that'll work there and all that stuff. I've never experienced an Evil Dead house. I believe there was one at Halloween Horror Nights before. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but it seems like there's an Ash versus Evil Dead house at Halloween Horror Nights. I remember that. Um, I didn't experience it, but I remember that. So I can see Evil Dead working its way, especially in this film that is primarily set in one area. There's other areas in the movie, but it's primarily set in a house and all that stuff. Makes sense. Could work very well and all that stuff, and you can make it vibe well and everything. So I wouldn't be against it being one of the IPs. Again, I enjoyed the movie and all that, and walking through that movie would be fine. Like it'll be fine. Is it highly anticipated on my list if it's an IP? No, I mean those other three IPs I just announced will probably trump it on that. And then there's another IP that's rumored as well with Ozzy Osbourne, which will very much trump that. Maybe even all the rest of them. We'll see if that actually gets announced or not. But that is the rumor that's going on there. But other than rumors, we actually got an announcement for something that's happening at Halloween Horror Nights. I'm going to throw that poster up for you while I give you some details. There you go. Nightmare Fuel is back. And if you remember last episode, well, before we do that, let me go ahead and tell you what this is about. So, show announcement. um, Nightmare Fuel Blood and Noir. Embark on a dark musical journey and resist temptation as death defying stunts lure you deeper into a vampire ridden Metropolis. Metropolis. Superman's in this? Metropolis? Superman? Is that what we're doing? I joke. I'm a goofball. That's what I do. But there you go. Nightmare Fuel is announced. And I mentioned on my last episode, I talked about Nightmare Fuel and the rumors of it's being there, not being there, and everybody online saying it's not going to be there and all that stuff. And then here we go. It's very much here and all that. And I was always in the realm of wait and see. Like there's no guarantee that it won't be here just because people are saying it on the internet. Um, so there you go. That show has been announced. I know a lot of people are hoping for a Jack and Oddfellow show or a Jack's Carnival of Carnage coming back or something like that, and they could possibly still do that. Who's to say they can't? There's something I'm going to show you here in a moment that maybe could lead to that or not. We shall see. But the Nightmare Fuel has been there for the last several years. It is a dance show, and before that, they did another dance show, and before that, they did Bill and Ted, which had dance scenes in it as well. So that area is pretty much done dancing and all that stuff, which fine, right? They're talented people and all that. But the thing that's interesting to me about this, and it sounds interesting, I like vampires, I'm into it, and I have seen Nightmare Fuel shows before and seeing the stunts and all that stuff to do, and the music that's thumping around in there and all that. It's always a good time and all that. But it's one of those things where I'd see people are upset about it because they want something new or something different and all that stuff. And they're saying it's like the Walking Dead years and everything. Because if you remember, or maybe you don't know, the Walking Dead was at Halloween Horror Nights for several years in a row. One year where it like took over everything, um, or the majority of everything. So Nightmare Fuel is an interesting show. Again, I have seen it. I have not seen. I didn't see it last year. I don't know if I saw it the year before that either. Because what you run into with this show more than anything is it's very packed. People love the show as much as there's a lot of people online whining and complaining about it. There are a lot of people who do enjoy this show and all that, but so it's very packed, and you've got to get there super early to see the show, like to get in line just to get a seat. And then you're in that stadium. Those seats are extremely uncomfortable. They're like stadium seats, or like I don't know. They're like those bench seats that are just very uncomfortable. Um, and it's a tight packed area and all that stuff. And I'm a big dude, so like it's a tough situation. And basically, what I'm getting at, nothing against the show itself, but that's just what you run into. So it's like it's that struggle of, do you go early and wait in line early for this show to see this show, or do you go get in line for a haunted house that's going to have less people in it because they're at this show? It's basically that area that you're running into when it comes to this show and all that stuff. So if you've seen it and it's been Nightmare Fuel year after year, and they changed the story up a little bit, but it's still kind of the same idea. Again, very talented performers, but kind of the same idea. They're doing pyrotechnics, and they're dancing around, they're doing some crazy stunts and all this stuff, which again, more power to you. Awesome, you're doing a great job, but it's just that element that you're running into. Now, the thing that's going on with the Nightmare Fuel that I'm finding interesting is that the last several years with Nightmare Fuel, they've had a team doing the show called the Fuel Girls, right? And they, interestingly enough, have not interacted with this announcement at all. And they have been active, and I keep checking every now and then. And as the recording of this episode, they have still not interacted with it. And they have been active. They've been active online. They've been sharing what they're doing right now and all that stuff. So maybe they're a little bit too busy to fully interact with it. I don't know. You're still posting online, so you think a quick share would happen, but they have not liked the announcement. They have not commented on the announcement. They have not shared the announcement and all that stuff. And you think they would at this point if they're involved in it. And I was like, well, let me go check last year's announcement, see if they interacted with that one at all. Maybe they don't interact with it or whatever, or they wait till closer to the event to interact with it when they do their team announcement video and all that, because Nightmare Fuel, the Fuel Girls, see, Nightmare Fuel, I associate them so much with it. Um, they they have a group of performers and all that stuff. And they do a certain team that does Halloween Horror Nights, and they add different members and all that stuff and all that. So I went to last year's announcement of it, and they interacted with it, like so it's that now question of, are they part of this Nightmare Fuel show? We know we're getting it. Are they a part of it? Is there a new dance crew that's coming in and doing the show now? What is this? What's it going to be? We know it's going to be a dance crew because it's a musical inspired thing, or is it a musical? Is it just straight up musical and acting and all that stuff? Um, we shall see, man. Now I want to go back to the wording because I confuse myself at this point. Embark on a dark musical journey and resist temptation as death-defying. So they're still doing stunts, and it's a musical journey. So it still feels like nightmare fuel, but who's doing the nightmare fueling is the question here and all of this now. Because as they're going this, they have not interacted with that announcement, which seems kind of telling that they're not involved in it. But as I am, I will wait for official confirmation before I say anything concrete about it, man. So, but there you go. The show has been announced. We'll throw that poster up for you because it is a pretty rad poster, man. I like the poster. You got the vampire lady back there. You got the silhouettes of vampires and all that stuff. Blood noir. You got the blood dripping and all that stuff. You get the rain. It looks good. Looks like a good poster, man. We'll see. We'll see who our performers are when it gets that time. But that's not all that's going on at Halloween Horror Nights. It's that beautiful, wonderful time that us Halloween Horror Night fans watch. If you watch my show as a movie fan and you're still here while I'm talking Halloween Horror Nights, thank you very much, first off. And maybe you're hearing about Halloween Horror Nights for the first time and you don't get this. But for us Halloween Horror Nights fanatics, we get so amped and excited when pieces and props for scare zones start popping up. We don't know a single one of the scare zones; those have not been announced yet. But props are propping up, man. And we're going to show you some of this. All these photos come from HHN Speculation Matt. Highly suggest following that account. They always get great content, especially around this time of year for Halloween Horror Night stuff, man. So first and foremost, let's show you our opening dress there, man. Look at that right there. That's where you normally get your Halloween Horror Nights neon sign going up there. Now, it does look shorter than it normally does. And I went back in time and looked at some photos, and I think there's a reason for this. It's typically shorter when they have a performer up there performing, it looks like. And we, of course, know, or maybe you're hearing now, if you're still listening to this, don't know, Jack and Dr. Oddfellow are our icons of the event. So I would expect with that shorter stage there, they would be up there um, doing a little opening ceremonies for us. And all that, man. So that's what it may be. Again, that's just pure speculation on my part from looking at that. But I went back and looked at the year when they had Sinister and Surreal as the icons of the event, and it looked like a shorter Tristan, and they were up there doing the deal and all that stuff, man. So um, there you go. We got that. We love that. We're gonna be so excited when that thing has Halloween Horror Nights on and see what color it is. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's green. My favorite color, man. But we'll see there. Then this one came out. Ooh, look at that, baby. Oh man, that just speaks carnivally. It speaks to history of Halloween Horror Nights. It just speaks of awesomeness over there in the Hollywood area. Check out the Scooby Doo Mystery Machine back there and all that stuff. Gotta love Universal Studios. But that looks so cool. It looks so fun. And I can't wait to see that in person and just see what that scare zone is going to be. Is it a history of the event? What is it, man? Hopefully you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to audio, you're like, what is he talking about? Watch the YouTube, please. You don't have to, obviously, but if you want to. But we're showing, this, and it looks so cool. It looks so fun. It just gives that classic vibe, classic carnival vibe, and all this stuff. I've seen other people talk about it. Reminds them of certain Halloween Horror Nights. Things have happened, houses or scare zones and all that stuff. Like Super Enthused, follow that account. That account's awesome as well. But yeah, man, like that looks so cool and looks so interesting, and I'm can't wait to see what that was. And looking cool and very interesting is what is this big old stage prop going to be used for? As you see there, you got that big old stage. You can't see all of it in this photo, but it's obviously steps you're going to go up to get to those steps in that little stage. That looks like some kind of royalty's going to be up there yelling at us or something. But maybe that's where Jack and Dr. Oddfield will do a show. This looks like it's going to be the New York area, if I'm correct. So why not? That's a big populated area. It's expected that our lovely tribute store will be back in its lovely area over there, where it's supposed to be, and all that stuff. And you're just like, hey man, Rob, they're doing construction over there around the exit and all that stuff. How are you gonna do that? I, did an episode talking about tribute stores. I think I put that out. I don't know, but I did an episode talking about that, and you can see in that area, and I've seen it in some vlogs that I've watched at Universal Studios. That area is pretty still walkable over there, and all that stuff. The wall's not running in. The wall's perfectly where it's at, to where you're not running into any issues or anything like that, man. So there you go. And the area is fine to walk through. Put it back there, please. Whatever you do not give us that terrible thing we had last year. I don't like to be negative. Like, I don't like to be negative, but that was not the tribute store we wanted, man. We did not want that tribute store to happen. So, if anything, if you're not putting it back there, put it over there where you got the Spielberg thing at right now, man. Which, honestly, I hope that thing stays up because I want to experience that. But if you get rid of that for Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, I'll forgive you, man. I'll forgive you. I'll let it slide. Like I got any fight in the case at all. But hopefully, it's back there by the Mummy and all that stuff where it's supposed to be in that stage show, maybe ties into it or whatever. I don't know, but that's so cool. That's just some of the props, man. As the month goes on, we're gonna get more of those props. We got some IPs left. We got 2 IPs to announce. We got all the scare zones announced, whether it's 4 or 5. We shall see. It fluctuates. And tickets, the passes still need to be announced. Frequent Fear and Russia Fear passes still need to be announced, man. So there's still some stuff to look forward to. And the event starts next month, man. At the end of August, the event officially starts in Orlando. The next week, a couple days later, starts in Hollywood and all that stuff. But there you go, man. That's a fun episode. I think I talked more about Halloween Horror Nights than Evil Dead Bird. But hope you enjoyed this, man. I like this. These are my things, man. I like talking about both of them, and putting them in one episode is a lot of fun. And I don't know if that'll be I don't know what the show is. I just do the show. To be honest with you, man. So if you're here the whole time, much appreciation, man. So much appreciation for you hanging out and watching this whole thing with me, or listening to it if you're doing the audio thing, man. But that's gonna do it. Evil Dead Burn. I liked it. Check it out. It's worth your time. Check it out, theaters and all that stuff. And there you go with the Halloween Horror Nights talk. So I like, as always, like to remind you, you matter. Capable, incredible things. Keep following forward. Keep going for those things, and the doors will open for you as they shall. And hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, week, month, year. And we will be back here on the show with more things to talk about. Again, we got a lot of announcements to come. We got more movies to see. We'll be back with more fun stuff later.